what I've done is I've bought 2 of these melamine boards, and I have measured out the junction panel, and then I'm going to cut these out and place them on the bottom or the other board, screw them down, take this part and use it as the lid for a press. Okay, so this is the completed mold, and we're going to give this a try. I've been watching some stuff on the internet about HDPE plastic, and I've cut up a 5-gallon bucket, and the goal is to heat up all the plastic into the liquid, put it into this mold, and then flatten it down into the thickness of the junction board. So we're going to give it a try. I put a line on that top board that once I go right to that line, that should leave 3/16 of an inch all the way around. And I did use 6. It started to bow there in the middle where I dumped the plastic. So I put the plastic in at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It's around 170, 172 Celsius. It baked for roughly 15 minutes at about 345, and that started to bubble it inside. I didn't scuff any of the plastic. But this is just my test piece that I made out of the lid. The other pieces that I plan to use for the actual piece are right here, and depending on how this test piece turns out, will determine whether I scuff these pieces or not. So we will see. I'm guessing this will take a few hours to cool down, and I'll show you then. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours, and I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it has a slight crack in the top mold. I don't know. I don't think it's too bad. It's probably still going to be usable. So there's what we have, and that's why I didn't want to use the parchment paper. Did the same thing on the other side. So actually there's not that bad a dent, but it did. I guess it didn't crack it, it wrinkled it. So that's not, well, it's going to take a lot more plastic, probably the whole bucket for the one. Yeah, I think we're going to do another test. This is attempt number 2. This one's not really anything but to try and see if I can get a smooth surface on the melamine board, and whether or not it's going to stick to the board without the parchment paper. Nope. Yeah, well, so this turned out pretty much how I expected. I don't think this is going to be a method that's going to work. This is a material that is used in the middle of snowboards, and I have it because a few years back my father knew somebody who worked for a snowboarding manufacturing company, and he acquired it because he used it to build out the fish holds in his fishing boat so that he could put ice in the holds. So I'm going to use it to build the junction board out of, because that's what I have lying around. This is something else I purchased. It's phenolic, I think, plastic that you could also find online and have them made to size and shipped out. This is my second option in case the other plastic doesn't work. Okay, this is the completed board, and it didn't turn out too bad. There are a few things I'm going to change with building the second board. I might try to put an adhesive behind all of these because I'm worried they are going to twist. But for the most part, the carriage bolts, they do have a square back. And then to stop them from backing out, I also put, it's not going to focus, I also put the little lock washers, if you can see them in black. So, you don't have to rebuild the junction boards like you see here. I only did this as kind of a challenge. You're not going to need every one of those posts for the electrical and if you renovate your bus. If you want to rebuild a junction board like the OEM ones like you see here, it's kind of pricey. These two pieces that I had purchased and cut ran $20 each. Actually, there was a $20 minimum cut, so this one came to $20, and this one was $21, and then there was an additional $20 shipping and handling and tax. That came to around $75, I believe. This plastic board was free. I had that lying around, but if you were to buy board, that's what you would pay for that. The stainless steel carriage bolts that I used for posts were 97 cents a piece, and I bought 150 of those because I needed roughly 90 for this board and 50 for the rear board that I have to build yet as well. So those ran just around 150, 160 after taxes. And then the various little stuff that you see, bolts, and see these washers, those ran roughly around an additional 30. So overall, without the boards, looking at around 200, with the boards an additional 70, so around $300 to rebuild both of these junction boards, if that's what your intent is for materials, excluding time. I'm reusing as many of the nuts as I can. They're still a little rusty. I ran them through some vinegar salt mix to try and get them a little cleaner. I was going to purchase new nuts, but they run about 20 to 25 cents a piece depending on the store you buy them at, and with roughly 300 needing purchased, the price of this already was getting a little nuts.